Sure is good to be back. 15 days. I'm sorry for the long wait. However, I had a wisdom tooth grown into my back tooth, and let me tell you, I could not speak. You know how much I love speaking, and nah, it wasn't happening at all. So, apologies for the long break. However, we're getting back into it. And what a way to get back into it than the Premiership predictions. This season, it started on Saturday. However, we're only a week in. That means nothing. So, I am going to be giving you the 2023-24, nearly forgot the year there, 2023-24 Scottish Premiership predictions. Let's go. Before we get into the video, what do you think of this new hoodie? Belter on it. Some people have been slaughtering me for wearing this pink hoodie. I love pink. Some people don't. So, right. Strana, top boys, thank you very much for sorting me out once again. But before I keep rambling on, let's get into it. So, for this video, we are going to be going from 12th all the way down to 1st. Who's going to get relegated this season from the Premiership? I'm still too heartbroken to speak about the playoffs yet. We're not going to talk about the playoffs. And who is going to come out champions of Scotland once again? Will it be Celtic, or will Michael Beale be able to get his first crown as Rangers manager? Coming in the relegation spot, 12th place. Who's going to get relegated? Well, this year I think St Johnstone are going to be the ones facing the drop. Stripped to the bare bones, they lost 17 players this summer. Yes, 17. And the recruitment, it's not been the best, to say the least. Up until only a couple of weeks ago, they hadn't brought in anybody. 17 players had left, and not even one player was brought in. That is not good for pre-season. A club at the moment that are all over the place from back to front. I just can't see them getting out of this rut that they've been stuck in. At number 11th in the Premiership playoff position, I'm going to go with Motherwell. Motherwell, similar to St Johnstone, have just been on a bit of a downward spiral. They've been up and they've been down. However, this season, without Kevin Van Veen, their main striker, if they can't replace him in his majorly influential goals, I just don't see them doing anything this season. Unless they bring in somebody to replace him, Motherwell, I think they're going to struggle and finish in 11th place. In 10th, I am going to go with Ross County. Narrowly avoiding the drop last season with an astronomical comeback. Yes, we're not going to get too much into that because I'm actually still got tears in my eyes about it. This season, I feel lessons will definitely be learned after last season's slip up. Bringing in a midfielder such as Kyle Turner, who flew with Thistle last season, to add to Jan Danda, who we already know played with Liverpool, and then Henderson. What a player he is. That midfield could be absolutely phenomenal to watch this season, especially in behind Simon Murray. We all know what Simon Murray possesses, and I think this is a season where he's going to kickstart his Premiership career again. And at number 9, we have Livingston. Once again, I feel Livingston will have enough to avoid the drop. David Martindale, he's come out at the start of the season, and as we know, he always moans and groans. Livingston have the smallest budget, Livingston this, Livingston that, but I think this is him playing games with the media. I think Livingston have got a very, very strong squad this season. In the Scottish game, a physical approach does you well, and Livingston, they're perfect at it. Their small pitch comes in handy as well. If they hold on to Joel Newbley this summer, him and Mackay could be a very, very interesting partnership. Finishing in 8th, it has to be Paisley St Mirren. Sunday's results showed that Paisley have what it takes to remain in this league.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I seen them at the start of the season against Morton. They were horrific. However, Stephen Robinson is not the man to take bad performances. Just like that game, I seen him going through the players. In training, he'll not be taking it lightly, and it won't take long for the players to get kick-started. However, I just don't believe they've got the firepower up front to do anything more than that. In 7th position, we have Dundee. Yes, last season's Championship winners, narrowly edging the Championship over Queen's Park with a magical 4-3 win on a Friday night. Dundee have only gone and added the signings of Boateng and Tiffany, who starred and were actually in the team of the season for the Championship last season, is only going to strengthen Dundee's already great squad. Now we are into the top 6, who will finish in 6th position and get their place above the border. Coming in at 6th, we have Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock, as we know, in recent years with Steve Clarke, they actually done very, very well, to the point where they actually got a European spot with Steve Clarke. I'll have you know, I actually done these predictions on Saturday morning before the Rangers game, and that's just further strengthening my point. Kilmarnock, they're going to do well once again. I think they've got a very exciting squad this season. After narrowly missing out in the relegation playoffs last season, I think Kilmarnock will learn from their mistakes. With a back three of Findlay, Dees and Mayo, I think it'll be very difficult to get past Kilmarnock this season. They are my dark horses for this season. Watch out for them. Right, this is where it starts to get controversial. We have Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, Celtic and Rangers. Who's going to be left out the European places and who is going to prevail this season? Coming in at 5th, I'm sorry Hearts fans, but I think it's going to be, Hearts. Hearts always tend to start well. However, this season I think experience is going to play a massive part. I feel Naismith isn't quite ready to get Hearts where they need to be, and that's why I feel they're going to drop down towards 5th. I know he done it last season, however this season he's got the full season ahead of him, and I think it's going to be too much. He's going to drift away towards the end of the season, as we've seen last season again. Coming in 4th place, we have across the city Hibs. Although they've had a poor start to the season, obviously getting embarrassed at home in the first game of the season against St Mirren, tonight they've shown that they have got so much more in the locker. A 3-1 win against Luzerne is absolutely phenomenal, and it shows that Hibs have got what it takes to have a successful season. A good mix of experience and youth will prove worthy towards the end of the season. And let me tell you, Eli Yuan, he is going to be a standout this season. What a player that boy is. When he gets rolling, as we've seen towards the end of last season, he is going to be running through defences for fun. Now, on to the exciting part. We have got 3rd, 2nd and 1st. Who's going to come 3rd? I think you can take a guess. Yep, I'm going to go with Aberdeen. Once again, I feel Aberdeen are just too strong for the others around them, and they are going to be finishing in 3rd position. Holding on to Duke has been a massive part of that decision. Duke, what a player he is. I think we can all agree, all Scottish football fans, that man, he's a level above, and I'm surprised he's still in Scottish football. He's been absolutely huge for the Dons, and once again, he's going to play a pivotal part. With the return of Bezijan, is that how you say his name? And Miavishki up front, that front three is going to be frightening. And defences, they're going to struggle against that front three once they get rolling this season. Aberdeen, they're starting to play a lot more attacking football, and that is why I feel they're going to have a very, very successful season. Now, who is going to come out champions of Scotland? Is it going to be Celtic for the 3rd season in a row? Or are Rangers going to upset the odds? Coming in at number 2, coming in 2nd, coming in the runner-up place that nobody wants in Scotland. I'm going to go with Rangers. Yes, unfortunately for Rangers fans, I just don't feel you have the firepower to overtake Celtic yet. Celtic, despite losing some big players, I just feel they're still a level above Rangers. Watching Rangers the other night, I feel they've just got so much to do, so much work to do until they get players gelling. My big problem for Rangers is their recruitment. Personally, for me, I feel Rangers signed too many duds. Too many players that maybe have proved themselves before, and that's why the hype is there. However, they're just too old and they're too injury prone, for example. The likes of Lammers, Danilo coming in, they just didn't look at it the other night, and I just feel it's going to be, once again, these players, there's all the hype built around them from the media. However, they're just not at it anymore. They're not the same players they once were, and they're just in a downward spiral. Celtic, on the other side, their recruitment is unbelievable because they bring in young players, young hungry players that are ready to prove themselves. Rangers aren't really doing that, and that's why I feel that is a big problem, and it's going to separate Celtic and Rangers. This season is going to be a tough season for Michael Beale to gel the team of players that he has brought in. I might be wrong. These players that he's brought in may return to the players that they once were. However, I feel that's a very, very tough task. Losing Morelos and Kent, for example, it's a big hole out of your squad, and they've not really replaced them. And finally, champions of Scotland for the 3rd season in a row, I am going to go with, once again, Celtic. Keeping Kyogo, Hatate, Cameron Carter-Vickers, for example, they're all proven winners. They are unbelievable players, and I know Ange Postecoglou's left. That's a massive hole. Carol Starfelt's just left as well. Jota's just left, their star player. Yes, we know that is a big hole that's been left out of Celtic squad. However, the squad depth that they have, the players that they've brought in, they are more than ready to fill into the gaps. And I feel with the likes of Kyogo, Hatate, Carter-Vickers, Celtic are still just a level above Rangers in that regard. Added to that, with the recruitment of the manager's always the biggest part of anything. You can have the best players in the world, but the worst tactics, and that can make you go dud. And exactly that is the reason why Brendan Rodgers, I feel, is a perfect appointment for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers coming in, he knows how to dominate Scottish football. He's done it for years, and he's got the special recipe for success. And once again this season, I feel there's going to be no problems with Brendan Rodgers. He's got the players at hand, he's got the experience at hand, he's even got the budget at hand with the amount Celtic have brought in for the sales of Jota, etc., the Champions League money. I don't think there's going to be a problem for Celtic this season, and that is why I feel Celtic are going to finish champions. Just before we finish off, I've got a couple of award predictions I want to be doing with you guys as well. Top goal scorer, Golden Glove, Scottish Cup winner and League Cup winner. Who's going to come out on top? This is going to be a very interesting one, and I can't wait to see these predictions at the end, because some of them are a wee bit dodgy, I must say. So, top goal scorer for the Premiership next season, has to be Kyogo. Kyogo Furuhashi, all guns firing last season. He was unstoppable. Players like Andy Halliday get onto open goal and actually confessing how good a player he is. Players that have played against him, players that have played with him, Iniesta from Japan, etc. His movement, his vision, the boy's just a level above. He's just too good for defences to handle in this league. For the Golden Glove, I feel this season is actually going to be a very good one defensively for Rangers. Rangers' defence, I feel, is going to be good. Celtic losing Carol Starfelt, having a couple of holes in their defence. I think Celtic are going to be leaking some goals this season. I think Rangers are going to be good defensively. The problem with Rangers is their attack's going to let them down this season, I feel. And that is why I think Jack Butland is going to come away with the Golden Glove this season. So just before Christmas, we always have the same competition. The first trophy of the year, the League Cup. Who's going to come out on top? Once again, I think it's going to be Celtic. The reason for that is a time of year where Celtic always start rolling in the numbers. They always start rolling through teams and hitting form. And yeah, once again, I think there's going to be some good hammerings in the league from Celtic. That's going to give them the confidence, get into the League Cup semi-final and final. I think there's going to be no problem for Celtic. They're going to win the League Cup comfortably. However, getting into May time, Scottish Cup winner, I think there's going to be a big change in this one. For the first time since 1990, who can guess who I'm going to go with? Aberdeen. Yes, I think Aberdeen are going to get their first Scottish Cup win since 1990 this season. They've been waiting a long while for this, and I think finally this is the year that they will get it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining me on yet another video. If you've not already, click that subscription button, and I'll be sure to see you at a football game very soon. I'm missing it, man. Are you missing it? Because I'm missing it. We're all missing it. Let's get back and do what we do best. I will see yous in the next one.